Hello, ladies and gents.
You have a sip of water before we start.
Hold on,
bro.
I need to have a sip of water before I start.
Gotta stay hydrated, you know.
Yeah, I've had nowhere near enough water
Exactly, and that's why, because you tried starting things without having a sip.
Yeah, I don't have any water on me. So, anywho, welcome, ladies and gents. While Cameron chugs his absolute gigantic bottle of water that's the size of his head, if not larger. What is it? 2 litre?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Oh God. Welcome to today's episode. You right, Cameron?
Have you seen that meme where it's like, oh, do a refreshing noise, and some people go, and someone else goes, and then it's just all these different sounds. Anyway, carry on.
What?
Yeah,
I
saw it on TikTok. I don't even use TikTok. And
You seen it on Tickers?
On Tickers, yeah.
On
the late Invoices TikTok.
Yeah, that's the only time I ever use TikTok, you know. When it's on,
same. That's where I saw it.
Yeah, when I've got to post something on late Invoices, and it's like, oh, we don't even follow anyone.
Yeah, I know. By the way, actually, speaking of this,
what?
I unfollowed your girlfriend on the late Invoices TikTok the other day.
You unfollowed her?
Unfollowed her, yeah. So what was that all about?
I didn't follow her. I didn't follow her.
Following her.
I didn't follow her.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
that wasn't me.
Unfollow.
That must be an accident. That must have been an accident. Because it always comes up with all these people that follow you. Honestly, accident. I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, well.
I don't want to follow her. Why would I want to follow her? She doesn't post anything.
I don't know. You're all loved up and you're like,
no,
I'll give her a follow.
I am
on late Invoices.
Anyway.
Okay.
Welcome to today's episode, ladies and gents. I always find it really hard to say that, by the way. To today's. Welcome to the show. On today's episode, that's better. On today's episode, we're going to talk about what's in our kit bag at the moment, what kit we're using, what cameras we're using, and how we prep for a shoot. Do we pack our camera kit the night before? Like, how do we prepare and organize for a shoot? And then also, we're going to touch on the file handling after the shoot. So, like, how we back up files and kind of our process. We're going to do a whole another episode on post-production, though.
Yeah.
Because Cameron's got a lot to say.
Yes.
So we're going to keep that separate. This one's going to be like pretty short episode, nice and fun. We're going to chat about our kit bag, cameras, all that jazz. Sorry if you're listening and you don't care about cameras, but sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, like we want obviously every episode to go to people just in general creatives, but every now and again there's going to be an episode that's a bit more specific. So,
but before we get down and dirty, Cameron, how are you? How's your week been? It's Friday.
Good, man. I'm good. Yeah,
it's Friday.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Every day's the same in my world, Matt.
I know.
It doesn't matter whether it's the weekend.
It's Friday. You're going out for a nice dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Going to Sticks and Sushi for the first time with your missus.
Yeah. Steph's birthday.
Yeah.
It's Steph's birthday. We're going to Sticks and... Well, no, she doesn't know. Oh, no, this episode... Oh, we would have already been there.
She's not going to know.
We would have already been there. Yeah. Let me start again.
No, carry on. It's funny.
No.
It's funny. Carry on.
Yeah, we're going to Sticks and Sushi for her birthday. And then, obviously, we might go out for some drinks and stuff. But, yeah, the rest of the week has been good, man. I've been kind of burning the candle at both ends a little bit. Going to bed at 2 a.m, waking up at 7 to go to a film shoot, or just getting up at 7 in general. I think today's the first day where it's hitting me a little bit.
I'm tired.
So I used to have to get 7 hours of sleep. And you know, like where you go, years ago, I used to have 5 hours and I was fine.
Yeah.
And then
when we were 18.
Well, just in general, when we first got to London for the first few years. And then, I don't know, like the last 2 years have been like, why can't I do that anymore? And then all of a sudden, the last like month, I've been able to just go to bed at 3 and wake up at 8 or 7 and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I did a film shoot yesterday and today I'm like, oh my God. I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night as well.
Yeah.
And I was up at 6 a.m. yesterday for the shoot.
Mate, I can't function off like less than 8 hours. As in like my mood is seriously like...
Well, that's how I was, and then all of a sudden it's changed to like where it doesn't matter what time.
What is it you were shooting yesterday?
It was...
Barbie?
Barbie? It was like the Barbie premiere or like a Barbie event, but it wasn't the proper...
Actual premiere.
Barbie premiere, yeah. So before people...
On the pink carpet. Yeah, I liked how they did
was
that.
It the pink? I haven't seen anything about
it. So
it.
they used the pink carpet instead of red
Mate, the
carpet.
marketing for the Barbie
Clever.
has been just amazing.
Yeah.
Also, did you see Jalipa?
She did look pretty. Cameron's nodding for those listening. No, very clever marketing. Very clever. But you just been editing, doing some Universal stuff?
Yeah. So we still editing the boat stuff I spoke to you about on the last episode, actually. Yeah. It's going over. Obviously, it's only been a week since the last episode, so
nice.
So still in process, and we got GQ Heroes coming up next week.
It's a big event for you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'll be away for 3 days at Soho Farmhouse.
Yeah. What's your role in that? Because before, I know when I spoke to you last, you were like, I don't know if you were editing or filming.
Yeah. So I've been there every year for like the last 2 or 3 years. And it kind of depends. Like when you're there, sometimes you're on the shoots. Like I'm not like directing, but actually like on the shoots and just sort of there interviewing the people with the crew. And then other times you might be doing a bit of DITing, and it just depends on.
What's DITing?
Well, DIT is what's that person you are? Digiop. Yeah, it's basically Digiop.
Okay.
But the reason why is because if I'm doing the post production, there's such a fast turnaround that it makes more sense to like import the footage and get all the selects made whilst you're actually there on the shoot. So that by the time you get back, you can just crack on with the edit.
Yeah.
And especially if you're filming with multiple cameras over 3 days, you're going to get back and it's going to take you like a week to organize for all the footage. Yeah. So there's just stuff like that. Nice, this year, I actually was told that I'm not working on the main highlights. So the highlights video is the main video.
Did you get demoted?
I'm not demoted. I just got told that I'm not actually on that this year. Oh. So I was like, oh, well, what
are you doing then?
I don't know. So we'll see. But like, that is the most stressful project every year doing that. So I'm a little bit like.
When do you go?
I think it's the 17th to the 19th.
Oh, okay.
And I'm so excited because this is
literally is it Monday?
I think,
Tuesday.
Oh, I'll have to check. Oh God.
15. Yeah, it's Monday to Wednesday.
Yeah. I'll have to check, but what was it? Oh yeah, it's the best lineup this year that I've ever seen. Bryan Cranston, Chris Hemsworth, Alex Scott. I don't know, like there's just all these people, and I'm like, first of all, Breaking Bad fan. Holy shit, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
That'll be cool. So when the listeners are listening to this, you'll be on your way to this GQ shoot, or you'll probably be shooting.
Yeah. And then when we catch up, well, the next episode isn't.
Yeah, the next episode's a guest. The one after that.
Yeah, the next episode with us, we'll talk about it, and I'll probably be able to recall just how.
I hope there's some juicy stories. I hope there's some drama. Maybe. I hope there's some there's
never usually any
drama, but like some lessons to be learned. You know.
Yeah, well, I think what will be good is that obviously you go into it every time searching for how to do things better, but at least this time I'll be able to reflect vocally to you and whoever's listening and really think about it.
Nice, man. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is exciting. And then I have had a few shoots cancelled this month though.
Really?
Why are you doing that? What the fuck, mate? You was talking about your Puma shoot for like 9 years.
I was just like, how was your week? And we've just gone on this massive tangent.
Fuck yeah.
Mate, my week's been decent. I did a shoot yesterday at the Savoy Hotel.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's like one of the nicest hotels in London.
Okay, I've probably shot there actually. Does it have the flags outside?
I mean, there's.
Do you go under a massive archway into the centre?
There's like a driveway.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. I've been there, yeah.
So yeah, shot there yesterday in like a really cool room. I just had one light. I just had the aperture. They hide it for me off that line. It was like aperture 300x.
Oh, okay.
The one with the Kelvin. Yeah.
Wait,
you can change the Kelvin.
The X is the one where you can change them to like blue and red and all that.
You can just. I don't know. You can change the temperature. You probably can change.
I'm pretty sure you can change the color.
But to be fair, I could have probably done with another light. Like it was the room. This room was dark. Man.
Well, you had my reflector, so.
Actually, you can remind me to give you that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And then this afternoon, I'm off to do a shoot with Samurai, sportswear brand. But it's absolutely pissing it down right now. So our first location's inside in a gym in 9 Elms, so that's good. And then we're on Battersea running track after that, so that's not so good.
Oh.
I'm in shorts, brand new trainers, and
they Flyknit trainers as well? That's
Flyknit's Nike. These are Asics. Don't get it twisted.
I've never even heard of Asics. Ever.
Do you live under a rock?
It's like, Nike or Adidas, bro.
You've never heard of Asics?
Never.
You've never seen this logo?
They have nice. Why are you wearing socks that are Asics? You've
never seen this logo?
On. No.
You live under a rock, mate.
They are nice.
Thank you. They're very comfortable. Yeah. I just wanted to get some trainers for day to day, you know.
Did you hold that up into the lens as well, by the way?
No, but I can. Look, there you go for the people watching. Fresh joints.
It's some leg action there for the viewers.
Some hammy action. You're welcome. So actually, speaking about kit and lighting and stuff, today let's get into like what's in your kit bag at the moment, Cameron. Like, what's your go-to camera? What are you using? What's the thing you pick up most?
Okay, so immediately, just to start, blanket statement.
Yeah.
Equipment is a tool.
Oh, bore off.
So it can change on the project, but my favorite camera just of all time is the Sony FX6. I have an FX9 as well, but I choose the FX6 because it does everything exactly the same pretty much, except it's faster, smaller, half the size, doesn't take as long to set up. like the menu just scrolls through better. Like,
so we're
just,
using
all
both
these
of
little
them
things.
as we speak.
Yeah, so
we
my
film
camera's
this.
on the FX6 and your camera's on the FX9. Matt will
Lens.
look a little bit better just because the FX9 shoots in 6K and then downscales to 4K.
Oh, does
Outputs
it?
in 4K, yeah.
But that
Whereas the FX6 just does 4K.
it doesn't shoot 6K?
No.
Oh, right.
Well, they're both 4K, but this is just a nicer 4K. But the difference is negligible, except for when you're shooting in like low light.
Okay.
The FX9 is just a little bit better on the noise floor. So, God, it sounds so fancy. But yeah, so FX6, I have Sattler Flowtech tripod, $3,000.
That tripod was $3,000?
Yes.
You having a laugh?
Yeah, it cost me $3,000.
Are you serious?
Well, mate.
Are you serious right now?
Did you not know that?
No. That's as nearly as much as the new camera I've just bought. That fucking tripod.
Yeah, well, the reason why was because I remember I got my FX9 first before my FX6, and my dad went, "Don't put your new camera on a lollipop stick." And I was like,
I love that.
Okay.
I mean, that's fair.
And also, just every other tripod, like, you have to, like, bend down, it's your back, and eventually, I was just like, I'm paying for the fact that I don't have to, like, crouch down, and, like, especially when you've got a heavy camera like an FX9.
So is that one of the big daddy
V-Logs,
brands of
that's
tripods?
like that's probably one of the best
Is
tripods
that
you can buy. Yeah.
really?
Without obviously going
Better
into, like,
than
the Hollywood
Manfrotto?
industry. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, really?
Sattler's, like, top of the line, mate. And I've got the Activate fluid head, which is
no way.
Which
you
is
got the
like
Activate fluid head.
Yeah, that's like, but it was brand new when that came out. So anyway, yeah, like,
it is nice. It's,
I think I value
it's carbon fiber.
again though. Like,
it's carbon fiber.
I think it is. Yeah,
that's carbon.
Yeah, it's the one with the red handles at the top
Do you
where
know
you just
what?
unclip the handles
It
and it
fucking
goes.
should be carbon fiber for $3,500. That's more than
Yeah.
my road bike.
That's a good point. I just bought an e-bike and that didn't cost that much.
No, you didn't. No, it didn't. Sorry.
Anyway,
No, it didn't.
but yeah, I think it's what we've spoke about before, where typically when people have money, or like if they value different things, like some people will buy luxury items and some people will buy convenience, and I'm a really big security and convenience person, so I will happily spend a lot of money on a tripod to
on
look after my gear.
bodyguards, guard dogs.
Yeah, well,
you said
you're like
security.
cleaner, chef, like a driver, like
Yeah.
people do that, and so I value. I appreciate not having to, because when you've got a heavy camera, it's different if you're a photographer because your cameras are like fucking size of your hand.
Mate, mine's pretty heavy.
Anyway, like, it's even when we're setting up this podcast, you struggle with the FX9 going on the tripod because you have to heighten it. Both of us sometimes have to like heighten the tripod, and it's just a faff.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, you got a fancy tripod. You got your FX6 and you got your FX9. They're your two. That's your go-to cameras. And what lenses are you shooting on that?
I've only ever had two lenses my entire film career. It is the 2470 Sony G Master 2.8. Yeah, and then
what a lens.
And then also the Sony 35mm f1.8. It's not the G Master. It's like, I think it's the FE.
Is it Zeiss glass or is it?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I think it is. No, I don't
it's
think
not
it is Zeiss.
No.
No, I'm not sure. Can't remember. But basically, those are the only two lenses. The only other lens I would like to get would be the 70-200. But majority of the time, like when you eventually start shooting on, I don't know, like bigger projects, you just rent lenses and these are the lenses that I own. And
nice.
if you're ever doing anything, just pretty simple.
And what are you lugging these cameras around and lenses around in? Peli cases, low pro backpack. What?
Yeah, Peli cases. So I used to have a low pro backpack.
You still do.
That, hold on. Well, they even cut me off. I used to have a low pro backpack as my main like camera carrier, and that was back in like the videographer days where you could just go and turn it with just you and your camera in your backpack, shoot and then go home.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's in a Peli case, and
two Peli cases you're running around with.
Usually, if I have to take my camera with me and my tripod, obviously the tripod doesn't fit on my backpack. So
or in a Peli case.
No, yeah, so it has like its own dedicated. Yeah. Obviously, if you're paying $3,000, I want its own bag.
Yeah.
So, usually you get like Ubers or you travel in a car or whatever as a carry kit.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the best thing that's ever happened though.
Why?
Just like putting your stuff in a Peli case.
See, I've got a Peli case. I mean, we'll get on to me. Carry on.
And I think it also comes across as more professional when you turn up on set and you're not just pulling out your backpack. I think. Well, it's different when you're a photographer. And also, this is such like a little nitpick, but I do think like when you get there, I think it even feels nice to like pop the clips on the Peli case.
There's something really, something really money. Sexy about Peli case.
Yeah,
something really just
open.
like, it's like,
and
you just pop it open. It's like, and then you just open it up, and it's like all foam. It's It's like all there, organised, like
Yeah, it
slotted,
smells nice
slotted
as well.
away.
It smells pelly
It's like
cases.
it looks just badass.
Yeah.
It's like getting out of a. Not that I promote. Well, let's cut that out. I don't know what
I'll just
talking
bleep
about.
that. Yeah. I also have a monitor, so people always think, oh, like I'll get like just a monitor that's normal size. Get a 7-inch monitor. Anything below 7 inches, just like.
That's what she said.
Yeah, as soon as I looked at you and I said that, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And also, it's on the FX6, so if anyone thinks that the screen's too big for the FX6, I can confirm it is not.
Vouch. It doesn't look too big.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah.
You look great on it.
Thanks, man.
No worries.
Thanks.
So that's your main kit bag. What's your main kit for your day-to-day shoots? The lenses, the bodies, the
day-to-day
tripods,
shoot.
the monitors.
Well, if it's multiple cameras, so say like if we're shooting an interview where it's multiple cameras, A and B
Yeah.
camera, it'll be the FX9 as the main camera and then the FX6 as the B cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll usually, again, ideally you'd rent the lenses. It'll be one of those shoots where you can rent lenses, but it'll be with the lenses that I just mentioned. It'll be the monitors I just mentioned. I also have an Atomos Shinobi 7 on the FX9, which is another 7-inch screen. Get the small HD. Oh, wait, I didn't say what the 7-inch screen was. It was small HD Indy 7.
Right.
You can get the Cine 7. I think the only difference is that the Cine 7 is made out of aluminium.
Aluminum?
Sony cards. There's two different cards. You've got Type A, which are like the expensive as fuck ones. And then you've also got like...
the CF Type A.
Yeah. And then you've also... Oh, you can get those now, can't you?
Okay, we'll get onto that.
Yeah,
we'll get onto that.
Okay. And then the other one is just a Sony Tough card. So I typically... You can only shoot 4K 120 frames on those CF Type A's.
Okay.
So I have one of those because they're expensive.
These bad boys shoot 120 frames?
Yeah.
4K?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rarely use it though. I've used it once.
Okay.
I have one card for that just so that I can access it if I need to. And then the other two cards are the Sony Tough cards.
Right.
128 gig for like 300 quid, by the way. Like, rip. Like, that is expensive.
We'll get onto that, yeah.
So yeah, so that's really immediate. Sometimes we run time code, sometimes we don't. And also, yeah, V-mount. We have V-mount on the back as well. However, I would recommend you can also get the Hawkwoods BPUs. They also have DTAP built in. And so if you don't want to attach your V-mount, because maybe it's just quick, it's like a Sony battery, except it's just got a DTAP in it where you can plug your monitor into it as well. Instead, because usually you have to do V-mount in order to power your monitor as well. Right. Whereas these are just like regular batteries that you can just plug in and it's got a DTAP on it as well.
Okay.
So it just makes it. Anyway, I don't know whether that was really boring.
I'm sure all the people that love videography appreciated it.
Yeah, I feel like
me on the other hand,
to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, no, interesting. No, I'm sure there's definitely people that are interested in videography that were keen to know what's in your camera bag.
I think actually when you get further along, like I went to a shoot yesterday where for the first time, that was it, I used my camera bag for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And it feels good to just like throw your shit in a bag and
does.
go to a shoot.
Yeah.
And then shoot, but you also do feel like, wow, this is how I started.
Yeah.
And
you
so
text
I felt
me
like,
saying that, didn't you? You feel like I feel like a day one again.
And one thing that was interesting is when you get further on, you take your risk with not taking a tripod. because I can take a tripod. I've got a Manfrotto one that can attach to my backpack.
Yeah.
But it's all weight. Whereas I remember years ago, I used to just take my tripod wherever I went because you always need a tripod.
Yeah.
Whereas now you kind of know better.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can. I don't know. Like you're just not as nervous because you've been doing it as much, so you don't have to cover all bases.
Right. Interesting.
And I pack my bag the night before. If I am going to.
Yeah.
Unless it's a shoot where you need to rent equipment, then obviously it's all done in advance. But
fair.
Yeah.
You can ask me what's in mine?
Well, do I need to carry on with anything else?
No, all I'll ask you is what's in your camera bag right now? That's all I asked you.
Well, what's in your kit?
Well, Cameron, I have recently purchased a new camera.
Ooh.
First time I have upgraded in 7 years.
Yeah, that is wild, bro. I don't know how you've
even
managed that.
So before I was shooting, ladies and gents, on a Sony A7R II that I bought in second year of university. And I've got a funny story to tell you about that. I got frauded out. Have I told you about this? Gumtree.
Oh, yeah, you can explain it.
So basically, I was like, right, I'm going to get a new camera. And I was like, Sony A7R2s at the time were like 2K, $2,500, or $2,000 probably. come on, I'm like a 19-year-old uni student. There's no way I can afford that. So I was like, I was looking for secondhand ones on Gumtree, and there was one for like 1,200 quid. I was like, bargain. So this is so stupid. I messaged the guy and I was like,
that's a big discount.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a big discount. Obviously, like used but like new. I was like, cool, sweet. Messaged the guy and I was like, hey, can you send me more photos of it? And he sent me like 20 more photos too, and was like chatting about the camera, and I was like going back and forth messaging with him. And he was like, sweet, yeah. So if you want it, just send me £600 now, and then when you get the camera, send me the next £600. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet, cool.
That is so like reverse psychology. That's like, that sounds quite safe.
Yeah.
But then when you go, wait a minute.
So stupid. So anyway, I actually paid with it on my dad's card. I paid him £600, and because Dad was like, "Look, like I'll front it for you for now, and then you can like give me the money back."
Was it on a credit card?
No, this was the problem.
Oh,
so I wasn't covered either.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sent him the £600. Was buzzing to get my camera. It just never turned up in the post. I messaged the guy saying like, "Hey, can you like let me know?" And once I'd not heard anything from him, it kind of started sinking that I think I've just been robbed. So then you get the police involved, and there's like an investigation number and all that kind of stuff. And I realized you don't transfer money to people you don't know. Learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
Until you've got the product in front of you in your hands. So yeah, Gumtree shafted me. I learned the hard way. I got a proper street lesson, and street lesson. Yeah. My dad wasn't very happy with me.
Yeah. Did you pay your dad back?
Eventually, I think it took me a few years.
You like graduated uni.
Because anyway, I went and actually bought bought a Sony A7R II, is the long story short. And I've had it ever since. And I've been shooting on the same lens ever since.
So that has the terrible Sony batteries.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
As in, they're actually okay. You say terrible. They're okay for photo. They're awful for video.
Okay.
Because it can shoot 4K video as well. But yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
So I've had that for the longest time, and actually, I had the 18 to 35mm Sigma Art lens. That was a Canon mount.
Oh,
so I had an
adapter.
Yeah, so I had an adapter to go to my Sony.
Oh, I bet the autofocus was amazing on that.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and so I used that for the longest time. Like a lot of my work was shot on that, and then I changed the lens to 24-70 G Master, which is what you've got, and that's the only lens I've ever had since. And I've shot everything you've seen in my portfolio is on that lens, everything, and God, it's great. It just covers all grounds. Actually, that's a lie. Not everything. For like, well, at that recent Puma shoot, like I hired, and a different shoot as well, I hired the 16 to 35mm, which was bloody beautiful. That G Master 2.8.
It's so weird because these are just standard lenses in the film world.
Yeah, so I upgraded my camera, and I literally last week bought the Sony A7R5. I was debating the R4 for a while, and then I was kind of like, look, if I'm going to upgrade, I want to be upgrading so I don't have to upgrade for another 3 or 4 years, like realistically. So I bit the bullet and paid more, because I was looking at secondhand like R4s, and they're only going for like 2K at the moment, which is like pretty good. And then, so I ended up forking out an extra $2,000 and buying the R5 from Park Cameras just off Tottenham Court Road. And I went in, I bought myself a new camera bag, which I'm very happy with as well. The Low Pro, what is it, Freeline, I think it's called, 35 litre one. And it's like a mix between, I can put my clothes in the top, but also can put all my cameras in and stuff. So it's great, like hybrid bag. That
reminds me, my bag was the Low Pro 450W.
Yeah, yours is slightly bigger. Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah. Then I also bought a new flash because my flash broke.
Oh, you got a new flash?
I bought a new flash. Yeah, just like a cheap, it was a 200 quid one. Like it's not great. And then I was going to buy some memory cards and realised I'd run out of money. In terms of like, I put a certain amount of money aside. I put like 5K aside. And by the time I bought the flash, the camera and the bag, like cards are expensive. We'll get on to cards because I want to talk about the CF ones. But yeah, so I bought the R5 and I've used it now for 3 shoots, I think. My God, it does not miss. So it's got
AI autofocus.
It's got AI autofocus built into it. So it's so clever. Like it knows and recognizes a human without seeing a human face. So if it sees limbs or arms moving, it just focuses. Like it just knows.
Okay.
It's so clever. And going from like my R5 to my like R2 to the R5, it makes the R2 feel like a toy camera.
Got like 3 or 4 generations.
It doesn't even have face autofocus. My R2 never did.
Oh, no face or eye auto. Oh, no. God.
So like I've gone from using that to an R5 where it's like it's just picking up the eye instantly.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
It does not miss. And
What megapixel is it?
62. So I'm getting like another 20 megapixels out of it now compared to my old one. And I don't know if I noticed the difference. I haven't used it for like a proper big studio shoot yet. So with like proper lights and all that kind of stuff. But like the images look nice and they seem pretty like crisp, and I'm very used to Sony imaging anyway, and like the color and the color science and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't look like worlds apart for me.
I bet you notice it in the file sizes though. Like,
yeah,
like obviously hundreds of images over the like 20 meg.
So a compressed RAW, I think, is coming in at like 62 megabytes.
Okay,
which is quite. I don't know if that's. I think that's right. So I got a 128 gig card, thinking like, oh, sick! Like I should get more than enough photos off this, and literally, I think you only get 1,800 shots. So I'm filling up a 128 gig card. I'm like, shit. Especially if I'm shooting like moving subject. It's like
1,800 shots sounds like a lot, bro.
It's not if you're shooting an athlete that's moving, you're doing bursts.
Yeah.
Like you're hitting 30 shots per movement. Do you know what I mean? So that adds up quick, man. So anyway, yeah.
I bet that's just glorious to go through.
Yeah.
Make selects and you have to go through 1,800 images.
But this comes back to the card. So I'm only using a 200 megabyte and a 300 megabyte a second card.
Oh God.
So the guy in the shop,
buffer it.
The guy in the shop was like, "You need a CF Type A," and I was like, "Oh, cool. So how much is that?"
He's like £400,000.
So for an 80 gig card, it's like 400 quid, 300 quid, and I'm just like, "Sorry, what?"
Yeah.
God, and like in my head, so what I need, in an ideal world, 256 gig CFA Type A cards.
But you could also just get the tough cards.
Yeah, so I can use UHS2 cards, which are 300 megasecond.
I think
but he's like, even then, like your playback and stuff will lag. Like for the new R5, he was like, you want 2 CFS Type A's.
Well, there is another CF,
which are 800 megabytes a second. Speed wise, I think they're fast.
There is another Type A card that's just been released by another company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's 400 quid for a terabyte.
No.
Yeah.
Ooh. You have to link me to that.
I think they're called Angel Bird.
Okay.
I don't know how reliable they are,
yeah.
but people have been saying that they've never had problems with them.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's like, I think 450 for a terabyte of a Type A card, and it's the only other Type A alternative, I think, other than Sony. And Sony, Sony just ripped the shit out of you in terms of... I remember I bought a battery.
Man. We love Sony, by the way.
I bought a battery. Oh, shit, yeah. I bought a battery for my... Well, you do rip shit. We got to tell them.
Yeah.
But I remember I bought an FX9 battery for 450 quid for the proper like Sony one.
Yeah.
And then I got the exact same one, but a different brand, and it works as well. And it's got DTAP for like 300.
Yeah.
And it has more features on it.
Yeah.
And it's also, the Sony one was heavy as fuck. And this one was light, and
it's pricey, man. But like,
hey man, Sony needs to sort that out.
In an ideal world, that's the next thing I need to do: upgrade the memory cards, because there's 2 slots in it, and I never had 2 slots in my camera before. So I can put 2 Type A CF cards in, 256 gig each. And what you can do, I think, I don't know how to do this yet, is write them both onto both cards simultaneously.
So you got a backup.
So I've got a backup straight away in camera before I've done anything else.
You've been able to do that for years, bro.
I don't know how. I'm
pretty sure photographers
all this new
always
technology. No, but like this is the first time I've had 2 card slots.
Oh, well, you only had one in the R2?
The R2's only got 1 card slot.
What the fuck? Okay.
This is how behind I've been with the tech. So like
that is why I can't imagine shooting with just 1 card slot.
So now I can if I can get 256 gigs, then I can back up instantaneously. So yeah, now I'm shooting on R5. I love it. I'll keep you updated on how I get on with it. But God, it's good. Like focus wise, that's the big difference.
Do you have a tripod?
I do. I just have like a really crappy Manfrotto one. I don't tend to use tripod really. Like I'm not a landscape photographer. I'm not a interior photographer. I do like some interior stuff sometimes, but even if I'm doing like a portrait session in the studio, like the only time I'd use a tripod is if I was putting a film camera. Medium format one or something like that. Yeah, other than that, mate, like I don't have a lot of kit. Oh, on my Polaroids, obviously, I've got 2 SLR 680s that are one's customized green leather, beautiful.
Didn't you get that fixed? And the guy was like, "What have you done to this camera?"
Yeah, I don't clean my rollers. Shout out to Philanthropy, the guy who sorts all my stuff out. Polaroid wise, he's amazing. You should check him out. And yeah, I took my camera to get serviced the other day because I was getting the lines on the Polaroids, and when you do that means your rollers are dirty. And he opened it up and he was like, Matt, you need to be cleaning these after every 5 packs. And I was like, oh, well, I've put about 50 packs through it since I last cleaned it. So, obviously, so I've got my Polaroids, I've got my SD cards, my camera, my only lens.
Also, what did you find in the fridge the other day?
Yeah, put a big pack of Polaroid that I'd forgotten about.
Wasn't there 2?
There was 2 big packs, 24 packs of Polaroid that I'd forgotten about.
Just casually
found them in the fridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I left them in the office.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that's pretty much like everything really that I use. I'll tether cable and then I tether to Capture One on my laptop. I need a new laptop, so that's also on the list. Yeah. Other than that, mate, like I don't think there's really much else in my camera bag. I do have a Peli case, but I don't use it.
Why not?
I don't know. So I'm always getting on the tube. I'm always getting on a bus. Like
I wouldn't suggest a Peli case if you're traveling on public transport. It's just
which is me. Like I'm always on public transport to get to shoots.
Mm.
If I'm going to a studio, then I'm more inclined to use my Peli. But the Peli's actually still here in the office. I don't have it at home, and I need to get a new insert for it. That's like yours, where you can customize it and have it. Yeah, because I've just got the foam, and I cut it all out for my old camera.
Yeah, that's what I did as well.
Yeah, so I need to get a new. Also, need to get an insert for it for laptop.
Oh, I was
because that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
So there's a guy on Etsy that makes custom ones that go inside. They're like 30-40 quid for a 16-inch Mac. Okay, and they just slot inside your Peli case, which is pretty cool. Yeah. With all the cables and the zip pockets for everything else as well. So I don't use my Peli case, but I do like it. You know, the lads actually bought me it in the office as a present. Yeah.
That's pretty. Oh my god,
very good present. Very nice of them.
Right, you set the bar then.
Yeah. It was for doing a good job on it. We did a month shoot, and they liked how.
Oh, did you? Where was that again?
Turks and Caicos.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't know that. Well, that's the thing with the Peli case. I wouldn't travel on public transport with it.
No, and I do
like if it's just you and you're just taking your camera, don't take it in a Peli case because then you're carrying around.
Peli cases are heavy in itself.
It's like taking a suitcase with you.
Yeah.
So I usually have a Peli case, but on yesterday's shoot, I took a backpack because it was just me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just easier.
Also, you have more kit. Your kit's heavier.
Well, yeah, no, but if it's just just me and the camera, though,
I know, but like if you were running the FX6, the FX9, you were taking an aperture, lighting. It depends. Mate, you need an Uber. So if you get an Uber anyway, you might as well put it all in a Peli. But like, I'm not taking any lighting. I'm just taking my camera and my lens. My Polaroids. Like if I'm on set, then we've hired loads of kit in. So yeah, there's like a lorry that arrives with all the fucking lighting kit.
Yeah.
Because I don't need any. You don't need to bring it yourself. So that's your kit. That's my kit. How do you organize yourself before a shoot? Like, are you packing the night before? Yeah,
we spoke about this outside. I have a pretty strong opinion on this because a lot of people like to see the camera kit like displayed on a shelf or in a room. And again, it's that convenience thing of. Like my kit just stays in the Peli case. There's a Sony FX6 Peli case. There's a Sony FX9 Peli case. Everything to do with the FX6 that I will need for the FX6 is in that Peli case.
Yeah.
All I have to do is make sure the batteries are charged and everything else is in there.
Yeah.
And I think we have this problem in the office quite a bit where people like to display the kit a little bit and it's just a bit like when you come to park, you have to like repack all the kit and you forget things. You forget base plates for the tripod. But if you just keep everything parked, then you can just grab it, open it, make sure the batteries are charged. Obviously, check that everything's there. But it just makes everything more convenient. And
so it's funny you say that because I recently put up a shelf in my room just for kit because I was like, it was starting to like get crowded on my desk a bit, like packs of Polaroid and like Polaroid cameras and like, all that kind of stuff. So I put a shelf to the left of my desk and was like, right, this is just for kit. So I got my Polaroid books, all my film. All Polaroid cameras, like blah blah, it's all on the shelf. Cleaning equipment, everything's on there for cameras. And I packed my kit up, like I put it all on display, and I was like, oh great, like it looks sick. And then I packed my bag, and it's like, well, I'm shooting again tomorrow, so why would I unpack it?
Yeah.
So like now half the shelf's empty because it's all just staying in my camera bag, and the only thing I'm taking out is my batteries.
It's just practicality.
It's just easier. It's just way easier.
Yeah, it's just practicality and. I think eventually, so you go, oh, I'm shooting tomorrow, so why would I put it back on the shelf? But eventually it becomes, oh, I've got to shoot next week. I might as well just leave it in the bag.
But yeah, I also agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you can only really display cameras you're not using. I've actually got a few in here I need to take home. That reminds me.
You're taking some of the eye candy
The display.
from the kit
yeah.
room.
Okay, and so
I think it's just putting things. It's like being bothered about things that don't matter. It's like if someone. I don't want to say it because
you don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll not offend viewers, but just like obviously people we know in the office and stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so essentially, you don't have to pack the night before because your bag's already packed. But then you're just making sure your batteries. I'm just making sure my batteries are charged. The night before.
Every time I come back from a shoot, immediately you back up cards and batteries go on charge.
Okay.
And that's it. And then
I always back up cards, but I don't ever put my battery on. I always just remember to put my batteries on the night before.
Okay. Yeah, well, you do that anyway, but it's just a thing because sometimes you always get a shoot last... Well, you don't. You get a shoot last minute and you're like, holy shit, I need like 6 hours to charge this battery.
Yeah. It's better to have your battery always charged because you never know, and I know I've had jobs and you've had jobs where like you'll probably get a call and it's like, can you come and do this in the afternoon?
And you're literally saving someone's life.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I would, but my cameras don't have charge. Like they need to always be ready to go. Your arsenal of kit always needs to be ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, what's that thing where like people prioritize? It's not luxurizing things. What's it?
What do you mean?
Oh, you like romanticizing, having your equipment on display.
I'm good at that. Oh, okay, right, yeah.
The other one.
Yeah.
I think at first it's cool to have your kit on charge, but then I also think it's really irresponsible.
But I think it looks cool though when clients come to your office and they see the kit room and it's like, wow.
Yeah, true.
It is cool.
That's true, but I would only do that when specifically a client's coming around.
Yeah, fair.
And you obviously tidy up, make everything look presentable. But
it's a cool space. It's like a nice space to be in.
But I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, fair.
90% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do
it. People, Jamie might listen to this.
If Jamie's listening to this, he's not going to be happy.
But
we love you, Jamie.
I think, I just don't think it's a priority.
Fair.
It's fun. That's what it is. It's fun.
Yeah. No, fair. So your kits are already in a bag the night before. Cameras already charged. Cards are clear and ready to go, or they're backed up. Double. Are you double backing up?
Any active projects? I have an 8 terabyte SSD on my laptop.
Yeah.
So any active projects that are currently obviously active are on the laptop. Anything that's done is backed up to my RAID G drive.
Yeah. How many terabytes is that?
It's only 12.
How do you have, mate? I'm running out of space. I have
hold on. Well, I've got 70 terabytes altogether with all my hard drives. But that one hard drive. So what goes on the G RAID is all of the backed up projects that aren't double backed up.
Right.
So that G RAID is the only backup I have of that stuff. But it's on the G RAID because I know, it's only on that one location. Yeah. So as soon as it's moved to multiple locations, it gets moved off that G drive.
Right.
So I have the Lacy hard drives, the USB-C 5 terabyte Lacy hard drive. There's other methods to think. I've just not got around to buying one
massive 80 terabyte one.
Yeah.
So
and
expensive.
Also, they're not that expensive considering actually, but it's just again, buying storage is just a really shit way to spend your money.
Speaking of buying storage, did you cop anything on the Prime Day deals?
I didn't know. I did look though.
The SanDisks were cheap.
The 2 terabyte SanDisks, 110 quid with it.
67% off.
I just recently got one and I don't need another one. So
I didn't buy one. I didn't pull the trigger, but because I was like, I've already got 2, and I was like, there for my active projects, and then anything else can just go on to like the HDDs.
So it's the same as me, except my active projects is my laptop now.
Yeah.
Which is probably what you should do when you get your laptop.
Yeah. Get like a large...
Like a 4 terabyte or something.
Yeah.
Maybe actually your photos, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you get 2.
I need... I've got 1 at the moment. I could do with 2. I could do with 4.
Especially larger file sizes as well.
Yeah. But like I should have probably got like another tower unit. Because I checked this morning, I've only got 1.5 terabyte left on my tower unit.
They start slowing down, by the way, once you get under a terabyte.
Really?
Yeah, well, at least mine does, but it's a G drive, so it's probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
People might have.
I just got like the WD ones.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, so they're my off-site backups.
Are they?
Oh, wait, that's another thing.
I don't have off-site backups.
It's part of post-production.
Yeah,
so
we'll get onto that.
Just real quick, just for anybody listening, basically, you have your main active hard drive, active projects, and then you have your backup, and then you have your backup of your backups, and then you have off-site backups, so that if the office gets robbed, everything gets stolen, then at least all your projects are backed up at home, or you should definitely have an off-site backup. So my off-sites are the WD passports. I don't even know if they still turn on though. I need to update those. So we'll see.
I know a lot of people now that are using like cloud storage as like an off-site. But you can only have that if you've got a good internet connection. Great. But realistically, like,
I don't know. Yeah,
and are you backing up like all of your every clip from the shoot, or you like only backing up like the selects, like?
No, I just back up everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. I used to only back up the finished videos.
Yeah.
But then I thought, as a professional,
yeah,
it's probably best like you keep everything because it's just one of those things. It's like storing photos, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just keep.
You never know what selects they're gonna want to turn around.
Yeah,
yeah.
And also just for your own thing,
Your
it's
own
like
bank,
this is everything I've shot. And if there's some things that I haven't looked at for years, then I'm like, literally don't need this.
Yeah.
Ping. See you later.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah,
I've deleted shit.
Yeah. So
I've found myself deleting shit that I'm just like, well,
also your work changes, right? You look back in like that shit.
4 years ago, I'm like, do I need to keep that? No.
Yeah, you just reminded me about something as well. And I just completely slipped away as you mentioned that.
Well, we've touched on file handling, but how else do you prepare for a shoot other than like packing? Are you reading the brief the night before, like on the way to the shoot?
No.
I'm
not reading the brief the night before. Right. So I thought you meant that's the only time you read
No,
the brief.
like rereading the brief.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, yeah. You do all that. It depends because it depends on the project if you're on set or you're running a team.
Yeah.
But typically, I would always look at the call sheet the night before.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get up the next morning, look at the call sheet and realise that I'm 3 hours away from it.
Yeah.
And just the address and obviously all those things. And yeah, I think it's just good to look at the call sheet and the brief in general beforehand, but then always look the night before and then always look again on the morning of.
Because you sometimes, I actually did it the other day.
You make stuff up in your head and you're like, where did that come from?
Like, I thought I had to be there at 12. I had to actually be there at 11:30. I read the call sheet in the morning and we were laying in bed and I looked at the call sheet just to double check because I was like, And then I looked and I was like, crap. So I need to leave in 10 minutes to get there on time. Like, so yeah, always.
That's what I mean. Sometimes, like, I don't know, like your ass tightens and you just go, just go, whoa! Like, I feel like I've got, I feel like
I've got something wrong. Yeah, my ass tightens.
One thing I would do actually is schedule an Uber if you need to. However,
they don't always work.
No. So this has changed very recently, I think, but I used to schedule an Uber the night before.
Yeah.
So if it was a Monday morning or like just a weekday morning, I might as well just say weekday morning.
Yeah.
And it would be a nightmare to get an Uber every morning at like 7 or 8 in the morning because everyone's
scheduling them.
However, so I started scheduling them. You always basically got one, which is great. But more recently, I realised that they charged me an extra 12 quid for that.
What?
Yeah, they charge you an additional extra for booking in advance for scheduling. And they don't tell you until you get the bill. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I do get why they charge extra because you are booking.
Yeah, but the whole point is that I ordered it in advance. The driver...
Which is a premium, so it's going to cost you.
No, but the driver hasn't been... I don't think the driver gets notified until...
That's what I thought. I thought when you pre-booked an Uber, basically what happens is it just automatically... No, it doesn't pre-book it then. It automatically just books one when you set it for. So if you set it for 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, as soon as it gets to 7 a.m., it just starts to book one automatically.
Yeah.
But the same as you finding one on your phone automatically.
Yeah, that's why.
So you're not guaranteed to actually get one.
Yeah, well, they must have changed something because it...
But now I think you are guaranteed to get one. Like you are actually pre-booked
and
it,
also,
which is why there's going to be a premium.
I think the driver also accepted it.
He does,
as well.
So that's why you get a charge of premium, because you are guaranteed an Uber at that time.
Yeah. And also when you are going to shoot, order an Uber a decent amount of time in advance.
Yeah.
Just because in the mornings, they're just sometimes the bastards.
You just got to make up for rush hour, traffic. Like,
well, yeah, but they're also just like, they don't wait around. Like, they'll turn up, and if you're not there ready within like 10 seconds, they go. And I remember one time, especially in our street in the office, where like the drivers just don't understand how to navigate the road. Like, no, I can't go down that street, it's a dead end. And I'm like, mate, it's not a dead end. Like, where are you seeing this sign that says it? Sorry, not a dead end, and no entry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not, well, just go down it. And he's like, nah, like, I don't want to risk the ticket. Like, mate, this is just a street. Go down it. And then someone else, you have to like turn in and then come to our office. And he stopped on the other side of the dual carriageway and was like, I'm here. And I'm like, I can see on the map you're not here.
Well, that's because I've got the postcode to here doesn't actually go to it.
It does. It does.
It goes to the back road.
No, it doesn't.
You know that? That's why I always say to people, come to... We just told people our address.
No,
but
no,
the postcode does look like it's the main road.
Yeah, no, but don't go off the postcode then. Go off the address that I give you.
I know, yeah.
I've never had a problem getting to this office, and it's because I don't just type the postcode in. I type in the address and the postcode. I'm boring, Matt.
Sorry, big yawn.
Yeah, I can complain about Uber drivers, but there's been a few occasions where I'm like, I'm defo getting like a vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I just can't deal with.
You should get one. You should get a car, please.
I just got an electric bike.
I know, but get a car.
Mm.
Anyway, let's wrap there because I think people have had enough about us chatting shit about Ubers.
Yeah, I've got a headache as well, bro.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we need to drink some water.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and I'm on about 3 hours sleep, so
that's what's in our camera bag. That's what kit we're using at the moment. That's kind of how we prepare for a shoot. Really quick, light and breezy episode. Sorry if you got bored of us nerding out on camera kit, but I'm sure some of you can relate and enjoyed it.
Before we sign off, we are going to be talking about post-production.
Yes,
and
in another episode.
Like editing photo, but again, not like in depth, but it's just more so what our processes are, the best processes, like, you know, what you templated, what's probably the best things to think about and stuff when you're setting up a project. Especially from my side, I love optimization.
Yeah.
And everybody, just not to brag, but maybe to give you a little bit of a look forward to, but everybody that I've gone in-house to work with and all that have all taken my keyboard shortcuts for my editing. And they end up changing their entire internal team to like the way I.
All right, big dog.
So what I'm saying is like there's some juicy details.
What I'm saying is I'm a
there's
bloody
some juicy
God's
details
gift
for that. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you are good at optimization. To be fair, be fair to you,
if I didn't do this, I reckon I would be someone that goes into people's businesses and
consultant,
like a business analyst, and I would like optimize everything and be like
a consultant.
Is that what a consultant does?
Yes.
I would be a business consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. No, you should do that.
Nice. Thanks, bro.
No worries.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any podcast ideas or things they want us to talk about, then please drop us a message on Instagram. I feel like we're racking our heads at the moment trying to figure out like what topics to talk about because we've touched on a lot and we don't want to keep like repeating ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we want every episode to be valuable enough to where it actually, you can get something from it.
So let us know what you want to hear more of. Like, we've got a guest coming out next week, so you should be listening to this on like the Monday or that next week. We've got a guest coming out the week after. So let us know for the episode after that what you want us to chat about. Please feel free to drop us a message on Instagram. Let us know what you want to hear more of because we essentially want to help educate you guys, the listeners. And if there's anything that you want us to discuss, then please, we encourage you to drop us a message. But yeah, let's wrap it there. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Cameron needs some water because he's got a banging headache. So,
mate, yeah.
Well,
my cap is squeezing my head.
This aperture light's probably not helping.
Actually, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the bright light's not helping.
It looks nice and normal exposed on camera, but to our eyes, it's
like staring at
being
the sun.
obliterated.
Okay, so thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much, guys, for watching this episode. There's definitely some juicy topics in there, and hopefully there's some takeaway points that you guys can learn from. I know me and Cameron definitely enjoyed recording this episode. If you could like, subscribe, drop a comment below, all is really, really appreciated. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.